Hi, I eat my Wheaties, and I'm going to do a little video on my deck building process. Now, I've used this process to get to Legend in Elder Scrolls Legends, and I will use this process again to get to the rank Legend or equivalent in Legends. I'm going to share this with you guys, nothing crazy. What I do is I find a card I like, I chose Garen, and then I build a core around it in its own color. It goes for any game. This is the core I built. These are cards that I think directly synergize with Garen. When I build a core, I then build a core in the possible splashes of the different regions I think could work. So I'm just going to go to one of them, Noxus region here. This is the core I built in the Noxus region. I built 3 cores. After the first core, I built one with Demacia Noxus, which is this one. I built one with Demacia Freljord, and I built one with Demacia Shadowland. This is the core I decided that would go along in a Garen Nox combination here. Now once you get what you've decided is your core, you go to the next step, which is you build all the possibilities. Once you just put in all the cards you think could fit in the deck, that you could see running with these cards. So you'll probably end up with like anywhere between 50 to 100 cards. So I'll show you my possibilities for this. I ended up with 79 cards and 9 champions. So at this point, I look at all the cards, I identify them, and I find the best win condition. Like, what is the best way that these cards can win the game? For example, win conditions can be like Fiora. You guys know win conditions. I don't need to explain that. At this point, I just look through all the cards and I find the best way this group of cards can win the game. After that, I decide, I link them. So I go, how do I get this core to work towards that win condition? A lot of times the core has the win condition built in. For example, my core has Relentless Pursuit, which is a win condition. Garen himself is a bit of a win condition. You get to attack twice with Garen. For Relentless Pursuit, you get to attack twice, right? They're cards that are going to increase the tempo and win you the game. So that's what you kind of look for in a win condition. And then once you've decided what you want for the win condition, and you take all your possibilities and you cut to the strengths and weaknesses. Now this is the part that takes the most skill. You just have to go, okay, my deck has Garen and Relentless Pursuit. What are they good for? They want to go on the offenses of an attack. And then once you figure that out, what is good with attacking? We want more creatures and more bodies that attack and things that get benefits from attack, like Siege Engine, which gets 4 attack every time it attacks. And if I continually stack these attacks on top of each other, you begin to see how it will unfold. So let's go check out what I got for a final after I decided I found my win condition, which would be Battering Ram, Garen, First Blade, and Relentless Pursuit. Basically, my win conditions are Relentless Pursuit and Garen, right? And Fiora is an accidental win condition. Can possibly work with Whirling Death, single combat transfusions, right? You can accidentally win here with Fiora and Chainbest, which is a really good reason to draft this card, right? A very solid card, 3 for a 3/3, fits in any mid-range deck, and you can also accidentally win the game, especially with the cards I've drafted. That's why I've chosen Fiora, right? I don't need to explain too much. You guys probably know how to play games, but this here is the final draft I came up with. Now, when you get the final draft, there's one last step to deck building, is to play 5 to 10 games and refine it. Why I've given this little tag unrefined. This deck is not refined yet. You need to play 5 to 10 games, see how it feels, see what you have too much of, too little of, and see how it fits into the meta, and then you do slight changes in those 5 to 10 games. And then I would either save a deck or delete a deck, always. After you play 5 to 10 games with it, you've done all the steps. If it's still not winning, you delete it. If it's winning, you save it. Now, traditionally, I would never even name decks until after the 5th to 10th game, right? Then it deserves the name. You guys can do that if you want, but I'm starting to get on the naming deck bandwagon. Now I had it went 3 different paths as I had the 3 core drafts. I'll show you the other 2, the Freljord version I had with Garen. Pretty straightforward. And the Shadow Owls version I had with Garen. Nice and slow. Slow is not very good. What it is. So those are the 3 decks. I can link them in the description of the YouTube if you want to check them out. Let me know which one do you think is the best and what you think of my deck building process. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.